Jay, you were recently in a jail cell. Is it still just one toilet in the corner?
Well, it depends on the jail. I don't know how I come off to people when they listen to this stuff, but
Not as an academic.
welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about the Goldbergs. The Goldbergs went 229 episodes over 10 seasons on ABC. Today we're talking about episode 1, which is called The Circle of Driving, originally airing September 24th, 2013. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me as always, the boys, most of them, Joe, Ferg, and Nick. No Gordo this week. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Burt Reynolds is the sexiest man alive.
Hey.
Oh, it makes me so sad because Burt Reynolds is not alive anymore.
Now he's the sexiest man
No,
dead.
but it's been like longer than you remember at this point. Like it feels like it happened recently, but it's been a minute.
Pre-COVID, right?
I think
so,
by like
yeah.
a good amount too.
But at least good for him, he didn't have to deal with that. Like if you're gonna go anyway, right? Be like, well, fuck. At least my last year wasn't stuck in the house.
We've talked about this before, so I won't go into great detail. Plus, this isn't a Burt Reynolds show, but Ferg once nearly burnt his whole leg off taking a picture in front of Burt Reynolds' tombstone.
Worth it.
Yeah.
I'd say worth it.
I'd accidentally leaned on his eternal flame. That would have been way cooler than my vape going off in my pocket and burning my leg.
Does anybody smell Fruit Loops and rotting flesh?
That's what makes it so funny is the vape would have been like some crazy flavor, right? Yeah.
If it's Ferg, it's always Fruit Loops.
I still have the scar. That was pretty bad.
So anyways, with that in mind, the Goldbergs, which one of you picked? I can't remember.
Me.
Ferg, any reason you wanted to do the Goldbergs?
Honestly, it was just an excuse to watch it. I've been meaning to for a while. I've seen one episode of this other than the pilot, and that was the Nightmare on Elm Street episode, because it was the last time Robert
That's a
Englund
good one,
wore
yeah.
the Freddy makeup. So I watched that.
This is a show I've only seen clips of. Like, I've seen it on television and watched like part of episodes, but I've never sat and watched the full episode until this week.
Yeah.
We came into it maybe season 4 or so and like caught up with season 4 and then watched it all the way through like in real time to the end. And I've watched it again since then. I really do love this show. I think that as we go through this, it's like a show that was clearly like a lot of it's just made for me. Like at one point he's like wearing a denim jacket covered in buttons. And then you see Don Johnson from Miami Vice. You're like, oh my God, everything about this show just makes me smile so fucking much.
Way to tip your cards, Joe.
Look,
I say that because we were corrected for saying tip our caps.
Oh, right. Yeah. Tipping your cap doesn't
By
show
a
anything
fan.
but your head, I guess. So it doesn't really make any sense. Yeah.
It's tip your hand.
Tip your hand. That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
I still fucked it up.
You did fuck it up again.
Yeah.
So,
But tipping your hat is
IMDb
being polite. So we tip our hat to the fan who informed us.
Yeah.
I tip my cap to this show because it's good.
IMDb 8.0. Rotten Tomatoes had no critic score, but 73% audience. And
How
then
does this
if you
show not have a critic score?
It had
I don't know.
10
I
seasons.
thought it was
and
weird.
it's had like every guest star in the world. They've done all these different things. It was a huge show. Like it seems wild to me. There's not one review from a critic.
And then if you want to watch this show, it is available on Disney Plus and Hulu. So it is findable to watch.
It's also one of those sad shows too, like Modern Family, where you're like, let's cast a really funny older guy as the grandfather role, and then the show goes on so long that they eventually have to do the like sad episode when that person like passes away in real life, and you're like, oh, that's such a bummer on shows like this.
I think about that all the time with like any show when you cast older people. It's like, anyone really, like it could always happen.
Sure,
But especially when you cast like older people.
Yeah, the
and,
odds are higher.
I forget. Oh, who is that? There's like an older woman now. She played like the mom in like Hubie Halloween, but now she's like had a couple like Oscar nominated movies like recently. But she's like in her 90s.
Give me something
and like,
better than Hubie Halloween that I would know her from.
I mean, to be fair, I did watch Hubie Halloween once right when it came out, and I definitely was like
Same.
blackout.
Are you
drunk.
talking about June Squibb?
Yes. She's like recently starred in a couple movies. It's like, that's a big commitment. She's like in her 90s. And you're like, all right.
She's 96.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like you want to star in another movie. She's done like a couple in the last few years. And it's like, well, like, I guess that's a risk you take when you like put your whole project behind it.
Oh,
That would be a fun way for her to die if she was in a movie and then she was getting squibbed, but then the squibs killed her.
She's on that Netflix show, Squib Games.
Oh, also, we just definitely cursed that poor lady because that's what we do in this show. We mention people and they die. So
My bad.
My apologies. My apologies,
Sorry,
Mrs.
June.
Squib.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing, man? She's 96.
Yeah.
You just pushed her over a cliff.
So, oh boy.
Maybe we'll get one of the Goldbergs instead.
So
He waits at her because they're young.
I feel like this is an interesting show in that 10 seasons, and it was like pretty popular, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the amount of shows that are pretty popular that get cut way earlier, and for this to kind of just go on this long and not be like a mega show, you know what I mean? Like it was popular,
Yeah.
but like it just kind of feels weird that they committed to this one for as long as they did.
People love 80s nostalgia.
I was gonna
so it gives
say,
it
yeah.
that extra boost that'll last a little longer than other shows.
They also, I will say, not to go further into it, but they do something really well that a lot of shows have trouble with, which is as the kids grow up and you start spinning off into their lives and like their own things, the show never gets worse for it. Like, you know, as the show gets, these people get older, right? Characters get married and move away and like have these whole other story arcs, and the show always stays exactly the same. It's always just as funny. The quality never dips. And I think that like is what makes a show go 10 seasons, right? If you're like, okay, you actually want to still watch these people.
Sure. I just feel like a show, for a modern show to go 10 seasons and for it to never really, it's popular as it was. And, you know, I went over the scores, like, you know, it's very much a like show. It didn't really like leak into pop culture and like, you know, leak out of just being a television program, like where it's just kind of spoken about, or there's like specific phrases or catchphrases or characters that really kind of like branched out into like everybody knows who that person is.
Yeah, but I think you're underestimating, too, how many people there are. Like, if you were to take, as we record this, is what, May 7th? If you were to go on Instagram and do, like, an analytics of how many people use the hashtag May the 4th be with you a few days ago, how many millions of people those people were all watching this show. You know what I mean? Like, that's the audience they get. So I sometimes think it's, like, a silent group of people or a not group of demographic you think of always. But this had, like, a lot of, like, big nerd energy involved in it.
I don't think
That's
they
a
got
weird
every
connection.
Star Wars fan. Yeah, I mean,
Well, this show like mentioned Star Wars in like every episode. That's why I made me think of it, and the fact that it was just May the 4th, and I saw it fucking everywhere, including like at work and stuff. You know, I personally don't like Star Wars.
I do like Star Wars, but it's not worth the argument right now because we have a lot to talk about. That being said, I think we should just jump into it because there is a lot to talk about. Right off the rip, the intro starts and we see that Karate Kid like wax on, wax off clip. And from there, it goes into Centerfold by Jay Giles, which turns into this giant.
And I was hooked right
Yeah.
away.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
Jay Giles Band is how every show should start.
And we're getting just narration about the times. It's less about the show and more like it's setting the scene first, right? So we're seeing clips of E.T. and Back to the Future and Alf, and just kind of like bringing us back to this era of the 80s.
Yeah, they did a good job of like throwing you into a different time, but easily explaining where you were.
One thing they do later on that they don't do in this episode, but like what I think the charm of this show is too, is you're never in a date. It's just always the 80s.
Yeah.
So they don't make it so like if it's 1982, you can still talk about something from 1989, right? Like they just keep that like in a very easy way.
Fun
So-
fact, this is actually the one episode where they don't keep it vague. The pilot is
Patton
the
always
only
says
time.
it in the opening. Other ones like it was June 13th, 1980 something. Yeah. And also Ferg, I know you hate him, but fucking Patton Oswalt rules.
What I do like is in the intro, we're getting all the nostalgia. They're doing a good job with that like little montage, but they find a way to kind of transition that into meeting the family. And we're doing that through like quote unquote home movie footage. The show is through the eyes of Adam Goldberg, right? And then there's a real life Adam Goldberg and his family, and the family on the show is mirroring his real life family. So when he's talking about the 80s and everything, he eventually talks about how, you know, how families were different and how his family in particular showed their affection in a different way than others. And you just see them all arguing at the table. And I don't know, reminiscent of my family, it was a heavy argument family, is a heavy argument family.
I've eaten a lot of dinners at Jay's table. There was a lot of arguments at that table.
Jay, can you just like think, can you remember the last day where you didn't argue with a family member?
I mean, it happens. But I think also, like, if I'm being
It's not
realistic,
what I
like my
asked.
family, like our natural instinct in our tone, but it's like, It's one of those things. I think I could equate it to like how we talk about how as a group of friends, how we talk a lot of shit, but it's just like normal, right? My family argues, but it's not the way like a family who doesn't argue ever has an argument and there's a lot of weight behind it. Our arguments are in the moment and there's no like heaviness to it. We just default that tone. And I don't know if that's being like a Northeastern Italian family or whatever, but there's just a lot of that. And it's not like an uncommon thing, but we are very much involved in that.
Man, just eat your meatloaf and say you love each other.
We see Adam with his camcorder and he's hiding, and we're seeing like footage of his dad coming home. Murray is the dad, and you just see him like walk in the front door and say, "I'm home," and just immediately take his pants off and just leave him on the floor right at the door and like walk off.
Respect.
I love this because he wrote this about his family, so like that's a real thing his dad did. Like it's so much funnier when you're like, there was a man who did this every day when he came home from work. Just took his pants off and sat in his chair.
One thing this show does in this episode, and from my understanding of the future, is he has receipts, right? There'll be an episode, but he can prove that not all of this is just made up.
What a treasure trove to like think of keeping your family videos for more than just like Clark Griswold crying in the attic, that you can turn them into a 10-season TV show.
Has it become apparent how much that scene has affected Joe? Because I think he's mentioned it every episode for the last like 2 months. Maybe ever since
really
Christmas
has.
now, it's just stuck in him.
Yeah, it basically lasts with me from Black Friday through about June every year, and then I forget about it, and then Black Friday happens, and I watch Vacation again, and then it just cycle begins.
And I mentioned this recently too. Like, I'm someone who's just started like finding old home movies, and I've been converting them to digital and stuff. So I mean, it's good to have all that. But as far as like the pants off, I'm someone who, when I get home from work, I don't like wearing long pants. I have to wear long pants at work now. The second I get home, I take my pants off and put on gym shorts. I don't take my pants off in the hallway and just walk around in my underwear either. But I mean, I do not, it is the first thing I do when I get home is change out of my pants.
See, I am, that has never bothered me. In the summer, sure, like if it's like 100 degrees out, yeah, obviously if I had to wear pants that day, I'm going to change them. But like right now, it's mild weather. Like I'll wear jeans until I get into bed, right? Like it just doesn't bug me.
I'm the same way. When I broke my wrist last summer, it was like the hottest part of the year, and that first like week before they like were able to like have any movement back in my fingers, I couldn't wear anything that had like a button or a zipper, and I had to wear like mesh shorts for a whole week, and it was fucking torture for me. It was like this is the only thing I could pull up on me.
I bet your torture is mesh shorts, which are very comfortable for
Yeah, it's like
else.
what everyone else aspires to wear when they're home trying to be comfortable.
You know me most of my entire life. Being comfortable makes me uncomfortable. I do not like it.
Yeah. We're getting kind of a run through the whole family, so we're also meeting his siblings, Barry and Erica. Erica is just like kind of getting ready in the bathroom when he pulls up with the camcorder, and she's, scooting him away. Barry is playing Simon and then getting into an argument with Simon and says that it's a liar when he misses, and then screams at Adam to stop videotaping him.
Shout out to Simon. It's got some real longevity.
I had Simon as a kid.
Yeah.
I know it still exists, but that was a game I had in my house.
That game makes me sweat because I'm like, oh my God, what was it? I forget where I was, but I had like a little keychain one somewhere, and I was playing it, and I was like intensely playing it. Like because when you get older, you're like, you think about that stuff. You're like, am I losing it? Like, can I play Simon? And then you're
Cognitive
like,
skills.
you're basically fighting for your life playing Simon. You're like,
That's
I'm
a
not
big
old.
reason I play puzzle games on my phone all the time, because it's like good to keep your brain sharp.
Yeah.
Did Simon, was that officially replaced in our generation by the Bop It?
It's a similar thing, but Simon still exists.
Yeah, I'm sure
Bop
you can
It,
still
no,
buy all
because you
that
don't
stuff.
need to remember things for Bop It.
Yeah, you do.
you
It's the
do.
same thing. You have to do it
Yeah,
in
the
order.
same thing. Yeah, it'll do an order.
No,
it'll do like
it
three
tells
things.
you
and-
what to
it's
do, and you
just
do it.
bop it, and then you bop it.
Oh.
Twist
No,
it,
no.
twist
No,
it.
it'll do the thing too. It'll do noises and then make you listen and go back and do it. At least the last time I played it. I don't know when that was, but
Last
anybody who's a
week,
Bop It
just
listening out
casual
there, play it
Bop
with us.
I
now.
didn't know. No joke. I played it like probably 2 weeks ago. My nephews have like a little version of it.
One thing I want to say about the siblings is in real life, he has two brothers. The real Adam had Barry and Eric, but the network, that was the one thing the network wanted to change, and so Eric becomes Erica.
It feels like
Eric.
with the relationship
you.
of these brothers, and that was like a thing they fought with them about. You'd be like later on, like at Christmas, there's like, I'm fucking Erica now. Like, that came up.
Like that dude Eric's going, they're doing a show about my family.
He's at work. I'm Erica. I'm
It would have
Erica.
been, yeah, it would have been funny if they'd never told him until the premiere. He's like, whoa. And the last person we meet is the mother, who he refers to as his overbearing smother, which Beverly.
Concierge
who,
Marie.
We've covered a few shows. Wendi McLendon-Covey. Is it?
It's either Covey or Covey, but she is the best. I
Yeah,
love
she's
her.
so
yeah,
funny.
She's
I hate
so
that
funny.
I'm gonna fucking butcher the name, but yeah, she's
She's great in St. Dennis
we
Medical
did-
now.
Yeah, St. Dennis recently. We haven't done Reno 911 yet.
Have we not done Reno 911?
No, we haven't done it.
Wow.
I just feel like that
Is it
one's
a
weird because it's a sitcom, but it's also a reality show and a parody. Like it hits a lot of different things because half that show is basically like just parodying cops, right? And the other stuff is like
It
when they're in
rides
the
a line, but
station,
it's
it's
certainly
kind
a
of
show-
a sitcom. Yeah,
We could do
And
it.
it's improv. We could do anything we want.
yeah,
first
we
of
could just
all.
do it.
Sure,
I mean, that
sure.
show's super funny, and I'd be
Yeah.
happy to do it. We can all be new.
No, we always say that. We always say, "Oh, well, can we do?" We can literally do whatever we want. There's
Right.
No
It's nice to
rules.
have some semblance of guidelines, but yeah, no. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's ever really stopped us before, if something was on the line, was length. It was like that'd be really funny
Yeah.
to cover, but it's 42 minutes. And we're like, fuck that. There's
Yeah,
no
it just
way.
yeah, it just becomes impossible. We see her doing like a video workout tape. Did you guys have any of those as kids?
I didn't.
But I did, my mom did,
No.
and then we found like it's like a stepper thing, right? This is a Jane Fonda workout. So you put the
Yeah.
VHS tape in, and then you step up onto this pad and down, up and down, up and down.
Yep.
And then like my parents were over, we found it. My mom like my wife's like, "Do you want this?" And she's like, "Yes, I do." I was like, "What are you gonna do with Jane Fonda stepper?" So it's just like in our closet now. I was like, I mean, it's nice to have this funny thing from the 80s that was in my house, but
So my parents had a couple, and then I don't know if they bought them for themselves solely or to sneak in the fact that they had a fat son who they wanted to work out a little bit. But there was definitely some Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies that existed in the house.
Richard Simmons, we are still at a huge loss for the fact that they will not allow Pauly Shore to play Richard Simmons in the biopic.
Richard
For
Simmons
real.
is the one who put the stop on it.
Yeah.
So
But he's
you
dead
kinda
now,
have
so they
to-
should just go forward.
I gotta say this. I get it, but if he really looked at if you watch that sizzle piece that Pauly Shore made, he did it well. Like
Yeah.
he has to play him.
Yeah.
Like if you had like A24 do that movie and do it seriously with Pauly Shore in the role, it'd be fucking amazing. And if he's not going to do that, maybe we can at least get Grandson-in-Law, which I still think we could write and pitch.
Also, you're Richard fucking Simmons. Get off your high horse.
For real, dude. You are exceptionally famous for what you did. And I don't know how you could see that and be like, no, right? Like he should, like, it's perfect.
You have to like be able to look at yourself for what you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think he had pitched people that he wanted to play him and they were not realistic picks. So that's probably part of it. Is like the not wanting to believe that Pauly Shore is the best.
Yeah, like George Clooney doesn't fit in that role. You know what I mean?
Did he give the okay for Eddie Murphy to play him in The Nutty Professor?
No, I think
I
famously
forgot
he
about
was
that.
very upset about that.
I'm a pony. I'm a pony.
All spandex. That
I
movie's
just
so
remember
fucking
being
funny.
terrified. It was
When
like
you go to play this?
it was a scary sight to see Eddie Murphy as Richard Simmons.
We showed my daughter Shrek for the first time, and the fact that she immediately was all in on Donkey made me so happy. Where I was like,
Donkey.
another Eddie Murphy fan is born. It's like you don't know it yet, but you're heading right towards Coming to America. It's coming right there.
Yeah, I'd say another year or two and she could watch Raw.
Next Christmas
I
picture,
do
she's
it
in like the
too.
red leather jumpsuit. The guy's like
Talking
"What you got
about
her for
Italians
Christmas?"
after they see Rocky.
Play your party all the time. It's a great song.
And then from there we get to a little more footage of them at the dining room table arguing and just kind of closes out the narration. And then we get the family photo, the awkward family photo with the title of the show, kind of the matching sweater photo.
And this is a Nintendo core band. I had to look up what that was.
You couldn't put that together.
Well, I mean, like, it could be one of two things, though. It could be a group of bands who only sing about Nintendo, like as the
Yeah.
content of their music, or they're bands who do Nintendo songs but in band form, or bands who incorporate Nintendo. So I guess three things it could have been. I had to look up what it was, and it is incorporating like bleeps and bloops and stuff from
Mm-hmm.
bit
Like
music.
the 8-bit noises.
Yeah.
So now, next scene, we have Maury reading the newspaper, and he's at the table. He's like just kind of looking on as his wife and daughter are arguing. basically the argument is that Erica is talking to a boy that's too old for her in her mother's eyes. The mom's like, he's in college. Erica's like, wrong. He dropped out to start a band. Don't you feel stupid now?
I thought that was funny.
Right after that happens, like during the argument is when Adam walks in to have his mom check his ill-fitting jeans.
This is another thing where I was like, this is going to turn into a whole fucking conversation. Although I don't look anywhere near as good as Brooke Shields in mine.
At least yours didn't go up above your belly button.
So these were these his sister's hand-me-downs? Is that what's
Yes.
happening? Yeah.
Which I guess you never thought of. I don't think any, Ferg, did you ever have that? Having
No.
older sisters? Because, like, we didn't have older brothers, It's like I never had that option.
No, I always got new clothes out of it.
There was also a nice little gap, too, so it wasn't like you were, like, right
Yeah.
on the heels.
That's true. I'm the accident.
No,
Happy
you were the pleasant
accident.
surprise.
Yeah.
And then you see the mom walk into the bathroom and pull back the shower curtain to, like, talk to Barry. It's like, where's my baby? Happy birthday. I mean, like, I know could you imagine being in the situation where you're in the shower and like, there's no age. Your mom could look at you without clothing up until what age? When do you start showering on your own?
I mean,
5, 6?
5 or 6, I'd guess. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's what, 16?
Yeah, this is his 16th birthday. Yeah.
I would be mortified in the situation.
This is also very much feels like, the shower scene in the beginning of Caddyshack, right? Or it feels a little bit like this birthday is going awry, like 16 Candles. Like, I feel like they're also kind of cribbing from some, like, classic 80s stuff here as well.
It is his 16th and he's coming downstairs. And you cut to like a little bit later on and now the family sitting at the dining room table together. And Barry's getting a gift from mom and it's like in a smaller box and he's shaking it. And the narration's telling us that he was in a rare good mood because of, this was his 16th and this has been a day he's been waiting for his whole life. He's, driving age. So as he's shaking the box, like it's jingling, it's keys. Keys means car means freedom. And then he opens up the box and it's not keys. It's a locket with the photo of his mom in it. So he can have her close to his heart at all times.
I thought it was a sweet gift.
It's a nice gesture at 40, but it's a tough sell for your 16-year-old
at
son.
16, yeah, it's a totally different story.
Ferg, you have a child at this age. Would you think of giving him a locket with your photo in it for his next birthday?
He asks for expensive video game consoles that fucking dry me out.
He is his father's son.
But what if you got him a locket and it's got Wendi in it? He's like, who's this lady? Just like, get him the actual locket that Barry got.
Are lockets still a thing?
You see them like especially if you're doing like Mother's Day or birthday shopping, and you'll always see them pop up. But practically speaking, no, they don't make any sense really. I mean, because they were made to be able to keep a picture of somebody you love, but with phones and stuff now, you can keep fucking 10 million of them. So
it's very different. Yeah, the day of having like the whole little photo album in your wallet to be like, and this is my nephew, and this is like that's over with. I feel like in the product of it doing an episode like this, which is a timepiece, there's going to be a lot of, do you remember this? Is this still a thing? Like, because it's so much like referencing back. But yeah, you think of the days of lockets and all that, and that seems to be over. Because even things that are supposed to remind you of a loved one now, like there's just more likely it'll be like, and here's his birthstone, or it's like you're not going to get like the full on photo anymore.
Unless it's your pet.
Here's a picture carved into a little ice stone thing.
I did one of those for my mom for Christmas because our dog passed. So I got like the big glass piece that has the image etched in it, which cost way more than I thought they would.
Yeah, I got one a couple years ago for my mom as well.
It's funny. That's legit the only time you do stuff like that still. Is like when an animal dies, you get all that stuff. But with people, it's just like, there's a picture on my phone.
Well, what's funny is when I got that, I remember when they started doing those like etched in glass type of things, you see them in like souvenir stores. Like if you're in New York, like here's one with the Empire State Building in it or the Statue of Liberty. So, and those weren't that expensive, but when you do a custom one, they are incredibly expensive. And I'm like, but they clearly don't cost much to make because you
the
sell these so
technology can't
cheap.
be that hard to do if it's in a mall kiosk. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're locked up in some secret lab somewhere doing it.
I'll tell you, the site I ordered mine off of was like the thing was made and like shipped to my house like within a couple days, you know, and and this is in the height of holiday season. So clearly they make them pretty quick.
Yeah, I think I got mine on like Black Friday and I had it within a week.
Because love is expensive.
I will tell you, it came out great. And made me very sad because it was a photo of my dog. But
it's also a hard gift too, because the ultimate goal of that gift is to ultimately make that person cry. So you're giving them a gift that you're hoping touches them, makes them miss a thing of theirs they love that's gone, and cry. So you can be like, Merry Christmas. So they're crying. It's like a very fucking dark, weird thing to do on purpose.
It is a weird, like, it's not not the reason you do it, but yeah, it is in the back of your head. Like, if you don't get that reaction, it's like there's an expectation. Like, is this going to move the person enough? Because if they aren't moved to that level, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, for the expense of it.
Got one of those videos made. Sorry, I died.
So this all results in a big argument because he's not happy about the fact that it's not keys. So he's like, I don't want it. She's like, fine, I'll just throw it in the trash. She's like, go ahead. She's like, all right, I will. And she like walks behind him to the trash barrel in the kitchen and like pretends to throw it out, and he doesn't react at all. It's like, you're really gonna let me throw that out?
It's where Wayne's World, go then, I'm gone. Go then, I'm gone.
It's tough. There are times where you get a gift you don't like, and like I'll say even myself, there are points where the adult mature thing to do is to game face it. But sometimes a gift is so bad and thoughtless by like a parent that you just get upset with them for like not knowing you well enough to be like, why did you do this?
Yeah, I feel like schools of thinking for that. You don't want to hurt their feelings, but you want to point out you don't like it so you don't get more of the same shit every year. So they're wasting their money.
And the problem with that is that I think everybody's got a family member who has this issue too. It's like, well, we knew you liked pigs, so we just got you a pig thing every holiday for the rest of your life. And it's like, I didn't necessarily like pigs. I bought a pig thing that was funny at Epcot, and now I have 10,000 pigs in my house, right? Like, there's always like one of those scenarios where like, I get a Mickey Mouse made out of walnut every year. Now I don't know what to do with them. Like, so you have to sort of maybe sometimes be like, yeah, by the third one, you got to be like, I can't take any more of these things, man.
It's just the idea that sometimes it'll be like, hey, I know you say don't get you these, but I saw this. It's like, whoa, hold on. We're starting the conversation with you acknowledging that I've told you explicitly not to buy me this specific thing, and here you are doing it.
Ultimate troll.
I feel like as we all get older and part of the times too, I feel like less and less physical gifts in those scenarios too, right? Where it's like, it's your birthday, here's $40. You know, it's like, it's less of a like, we went out and got you something, because it's just, I don't know, the world moves so fast.
Now she's telling him that he's not going to drive at all, just because she's mad about the situation, I guess. So Barry is like talking to his dad. Dad, can you talk some sense into your wife? He's like, I agree with whatever nonsense your mother just said. He's like, come on, that's not fair. He says, who the hell told you life was fair, you moron? And then you get the commentary telling us, with the narration, Dad's colorful way of speaking may seem a bit harsh. It really wasn't. You just have to learn how to speak Murray. And this becomes like a montage of multiple clips where we're hearing him say something, and then we'll get the like caption under what he really means when he says it.
Yeah, and this runs through the whole episode.
That first one we get is Erica like coming in late one night, and Murray's just sitting. He's sitting inside the house, like at the door, but it looks like he dragged his chair out into the hallway so he could at least sit comfortably as he waited.
Thinking smart.
I love Murray.
It's weird, not to go too far ahead, but I just think it's funny. This is such an integral character to the show, and then like there was a big blow up between season 9 and season 10, where like he was saying some stuff about like just not one. I think he was just done with it, you know what I mean? And he had just done like 10 seasons of this, 10 seasons of Curb, or whatever. So they just like wrote him off or whatever. And it's the classic weird thing in a sitcom where they're just like, yep, it was summer and it was great. And it just cuts to the empty chair and they're like, and Dad died. You're like, what the fuck? That's so abrupt.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, I know in real life the real Murray died before the show came out, but I don't think it was that young in their lives.
Yeah, they actually, I think Adam Goldberg talked about that. He was like, the plan wasn't to do that, obviously, right? Like we're going to write it like our lives, but they weren't going to recast him either in the final season.
That's a lot of TV. To do this and Curb, you're talking nearly 400 episodes of television between the two.
And then he's always on, like,
crazy.
During that time too, right? He would pop in and do like a fun story arc on like Arrested Development and other stuff too. He's like a dude who's like always around. So Jeff Garlin was like always working.
When his daughter walked in, he said, "It's 2 a.m. I thought you were dead. I could kill you." which translates to, I was very worried about you. Next
Now
one
I'm just
is,
like, oh god, the idea of being out till 2 a.m. Such a foreign concept nowadays.
my mom would always wait up for me when we were younger, like always. Like even when we got to the point like 18, and it's like, hey, there's no more curfew here, and I'm out super late like that. And even like when we were starting to go like into the city when we first became like of drinking age, like if I was out at a bar until 2 a.m., didn't get home till 3:30 or whatever, she'd be up. She would just like part because she doesn't sleep ever. But also it would just be like in the living room, just like waiting for me to come home, just to watch me be like, ugh, and then go to bed.
Yeah, she was gaining nothing out of that conversation. There was nothing good involved there.
It's like, how was your night? Off to bed. Next clip, we have Murray with his 2 sons, and they're sitting at the computer, and they did something that I guess he tried to pull out the floppy disk, and the thing was all ripped up. I don't know exactly what they did to fuck up the situation, but the disc was corrupted
back in the day. The little metal piece on the top of the floppy would get caught, and you just pull the whole thing off.
I got out of doing homework once by that. I forgot to do homework in middle school, and that was back when you would have homework on a floppy disk sometimes. And I don't know what happened, man. It's broken.
This was the real floppy though. Like we had.
Yeah, this is
discs,
the 5.5. Yeah,
this is the real the floppy
discs,
one.
Yeah.
The reason it was called floppy.
Yeah, that was my first computer. Had those.
Oh really? I never had we've talked about this in the past, but I never had like a floppy disk.
I did
in a computer.
You needed 2 of the disks. You needed one to like basically run the operating system, and then one to do whatever else.
I think what's funny too is like those hard disks I think only held like 3 megabytes or something that on it.
Not even.
Now you can go your phone and be like, show me horse porn. It's like immediate. What a fucking weird turn it's been in 30 years.
I mean, yeah, you could, I guess, if you want to.
Why did you jump to horse porn?
I was just trying to think of something that would be so wild to think of.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
It held 360 kilobytes.
Wow.
Yep.
Really small.
The high density version of them were 1.2 megabytes or introduced around 1984. So the ones we were using were around 1.2 meg.
It definitely held at least a couple photoshopped images of Sonny and Sable nude. So I hear. so I hear.
If I had to
and Murray's saying to his kids, "No, you broke it. It's amazing. You little bastards ruin everything." And then it says under it, "I find your behavior frustrating."
Just love you little bastards ruin everything is such a great dad comment. So fucking perfect.
Then we get one where Barry's showing his dad that he got an A on his test, which I thought was kind of just out of sync with the vibe of the show.
His character too, yeah.
And then eventually we get back to the dining room table, and Murray and Barry are sitting there, and Murray's giving Barry like another birthday gift. He's like, "All right, stop pouting. I got you something, and I think you're going to like it." I will say at first I did think that this would be the key. Like the dad was going to play good cop here. And it's a cassette. More importantly, it's REO Speedwagon.
Why is REO Speedwagon taking strays in this show?
Yeah, they're getting a lot of shrapnel here, right? Yeah.
I think, and
keep on loving you.
I think, Joe, you can relate, and it's something that like you look back at and it's foolish, but when you're at a certain age, and like we listened to a lot of music that was unconventional, right? So there was a point in time where I think I was of the same top 40. Like if it was like on the radio, you were like too cool for it.
Oh yeah, you didn't want anything to do with that. Yeah.
So like in 16, it's probably right around the age that I was, maybe a little earlier, but like, close to that age when I was too cool to listen to anything that was on the radio.
And I always kind of put punk and hip hop in the same category of like angst, teenage outsider music. They're sort of the same thing in 2 different ways. So like you totally understand the parallel there. It's like this dude wants to listen to Run DMC and he gets REO Speedwagon. Probably a bummer day, even though both have their merits.
But if he's more of a hip hop head, it could have been something where I'm trying to think like what would have been conventional rap in the early 80s.
It would have to be later 80s.
I was going to say like Sugar Hill Gang, but that's way before that.
Yeah.
Fat Boys.
I was going to say the Fat Boys are a band we often bring up on here.
Sure, but I don't think Barry would be like, the Fat Boys, what the fuck? He would have been like, oh, cool.
I think that they must come up in an episode too, because I feel like I remember that. But also like anybody who likes hip hop in the 80s, even if they were like hard, they like the Fat Boys. The Fat Boys fucking rule.
And I like that. I mean, this is this was a nostalgia for like bump for me is when he's like, "What? I talked to the guy at Sam Goody."
Yeah.
Aw, Sam Goody.
I had that same nostalgia bump and then was like, what year did they go out of business? The last two closed last year.
What?
No
Yeah.
shit.
There were two. It's like the Blockbuster where there's like one Blockbuster left in the Midwest somewhere. There's a Sam Goody in, I think I want to say it was Ohio and somewhere else. And they closed in 2025. And they were the last two like of the chain to survive.
Huh.
That's wild because I mean the ones
That is
we
wild,
had
yeah.
was gone early 2000s, right?
Yeah. Because that's a classic mall store. I remember like one of the
They
greatest
got
days
bought
ever.
out
with-
by another company, right?
I think HMV bought them out.
Yeah.
And then they became more of a movie.
FMY,
Or FMY,
right? Or
it's what FMY, yeah.
FYE, is that it?
I think that's what it was.
FYE,
For your
that is it,
yeah, it
entertainment.
is.
For
Yeah.
your entertainment, yep.
Yeah. But when
Well-
they switched over, when they officially were like, we're not doing cassettes anymore, was like the greatest day ever because like every dumb tape they had that like you'd want, like an album you'd like was 50 cents. It's like went in there and it was like, you know, at that point you're like no effects tapes and stuff were 50 cents and you were like, yee-hoo! It's like filling a basket up for 50 fucking cents.
Yeah, I remember, at least in our mall, it must have been the same company. It was half and half. So the left
Half
side
video
was
store,
Sam
yeah.
Goody, and then the right side was Suncoast Video, right?
Yeah. And Suncoast was cool because they would get all those like big thick clamshell horror movies that like Anchor Bay would do. So if you wanted like Zombie or like that's the first place where I remember seeing the like full Freddy box set where he was across all the tapes
I have
like when
two
they
of
first
those.
released. Yeah. So that
Which
was
is
a fun place to
to
go.
tie in Goldbergs. You ever see the image of they have all those tapes together, but the one in the middle they subbed it out
Is
with
Goldberg?
a WCW
Yeah.
tape of Goldberg,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
looks like his arms are the elongated arms with the claws.
Can't believe it took that long for a Bill Goldberg joke.
He is in the show later. He becomes the gym teacher. And he's great in it. He has not eaten any corn.
Good. Gordo would have been wondering.
Well, when Gordo doesn't listen to this or watch the episode that we're
Yeah.
covering, we can bring it up with him.
And Joe, as you mentioned earlier, when Murray's defending his choice of talking to the guy at Sam Goody, he's saying he had an earring and a jean jacket covered in buttons.
Good man.
Joe.
Just like
That
Joe.
was his metric. Like, this guy knows his music.
To be fair, I do.
Although,
Would you have given him the REO Speedwagon cassette?
No, if it was any 1980s, look, that's REO Speedwagon, especially in the 80s, would be a band that you'd be like, we put this on when the store closes, and we like jam it real loud. But like, yeah, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna sell them something
Like-
cool.
Kids love Poison. Here you go.
Yeah, it would for sure be like, have you ever heard Too Fast for Love by Motley Crue? This is the album this dude wants to hear. Cinderella's Night Songs, maybe. There's a lot of options. It would mainly be hair metal for that kid, yeah.
so as these guys are arguing, we hear honking from outside. And the narration says, Barry had one last visitor, my grandfather, Pops, who is 80 years of pure awesome. And all the kids run outside to see him. That's where we meet their grandfather for the first time. He's like, oh, I hear someone turned 16 and could use a new car. It's like, holy crap, because his his Pop's in front of, what was that? Was that a Firebird?
Firebird?
Or-
Yeah, it's a Firebird. It's the Bandit car, but in red.
and he's like, oh my God, is that for me? He's like, no, I don't love you that much. This baby's mine. You got my old one.
Yeah, that's
Which, like,
that's,
still,
that's
when
a
you're 16.
dangerous car to give a 16-year-old.
Apparently, it's a dangerous card for an elderly person, too.
I agree.
Well,
yeah.
as we'll
Both
learn.
ends of that spectrum, that's a bad car choice. Yeah.
The reality is, and when I was 16, my first car was a Taurus, a 93 Taurus. And you do need a car that, like, you're probably going to ding up. You know what I mean? Like, things are going to happen.
It was an 88 Mustang GT convertible, actually.
Oh,
We do not know cars here on S1E1.
no.
My first car was a 2023 Honda HRV.
I was going to say, Joe, you kind of have your first car now. You can't drive it without someone else in it still. But
Currently, but I can drive. Look, I've gotten
He's
going to
get his license his next kid.
Joe, as your friend, I am proud of you for making the progress you've made, but
Thank
you
you.
need to get the license now. It's
Yes,
been,
yes, I do.
your permit is going to expire, right?
It's a dumb thing where like you get the permit and like I know I do it because like I can't go anywhere alone or whatever, but like I'm mainly working all day and then like on the weekends everyone's around, so like it gets out of your brain. You're just like, I'll drive, but like you never think about it because you're sitting in the car with people and then you're like, oh shit, I can't like go get coffee. I could risk it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get arrested.
Yeah,
so I
but the
won't.
next step would be there'll be a point when you get the actual license, like say your wife's home with your daughter, and you could just run out and be like, oh, I'm going to run a CVS and pick up that thing we need and
Yeah,
come
Yeah,
home.
that's and now I'm just like, I'll walk. It's like it's snowing out.
Yeah.
But like I know, I'll walk. But yeah, this episode did strike a chord with me as someone who's only learned to drive 3 years ago.
Yeah. Really related to the 16-year-old boy, huh? Pops is about to throw Barry the keys to his old car now because it's going to be his. And you get like the slow motion. Do I remember right? Were they playing like the Chariots of Fire music? Was that being played as the keys were in the air?
What they were playing.
Feel like in my head I remember it that way. I could be wrong.
I think they just played some stock music that was similar, but I could be wrong. I watched it today and don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like Chariots of Fire is usually for like running or like fast motion. Well, slow motion of people going fast.
Slow motion, yeah. But we're getting slow motion here. The keys are flying through the air.
And this outcome was the most predictable thing in the whole show.
Right before he grabs them, Mom pops into frame, intercepts the keys.
I saw that coming from a mile away. They're like, it's slow motion for a reason. He's all excited. Like the mom already said no. Yeah. She's going to catch it right before.
That's when she makes it known. We've already decided Barry can't drive. And then Barry's obviously pissed. Erica's like, so Barry has a car and no license, and I have a license and no car? That makes no sense.
How old is Erica supposed to be? Like,
I think like just 1 year older. Yeah. Because I think she's maybe a junior if he's a sophomore. Because she's in high school. I want to say she doesn't go to college for a few seasons in the show.
And they had no problem with her getting her license?
I think she's much more responsible than Barry and doesn't freak out and punch the Simon game, which I think is part of the reason why they don't want Barry driving, because that's a little more dangerous, especially in an 80s car, which was like 4,000 pounds of just death steel.
Yeah.
That keeps you safer, all that steel.
I will say now, whenever you see a car like bump into another car and the whole car explodes with clips and plastic everywhere, and you're like, I don't know if we're making them as good as we used to. I feel like they might be safer, but maybe not. Yeah.
Well, no,
you're on a unicycle.
They're supposed to do that. That part of the car braking is what is absorbing the impact from and preventing it from hitting you.
It's like a punching bag, yeah.
Yes, technically it's made out of lesser material, but it's for a reason.
I just assumed they cheaped out over the years.
When we used to have big in that parking lot we used to hang out all the time at skateboarding, like we used to always run up to people's cars and like jump off their bumper and like acid drop onto your board. If you try to run to like a Honda Civic and do that now,
wow, you're a dick.
Well, remember being 16? We were fucking dickheads. But your foot would go like right through a car now if you tried to do that.
I don't even think my car has a bumper, a rear bumper, now that I think about it. Like there is no like ledge like we were used to, you know what I mean? It's just kind of...
Yeah, so many cars are like hatchbacky now where it's just flat back.
Plastic in the shape of a bumper now.
Plumper.
Yeah, I feel like it's just aesthetic mostly on cars now, right? See, now that is a joke that Gordo would have loved. He'll never hear.
Barry's upset. He's like, this is the worst birthday ever. The only one who understands me is Flavor Flav. And then he runs off. Not the coolest run. Yeah, he has quite a weird run. As he's heading into the house, though, he passes by his dad, which kind of transitions to him being outside now. He's like, who runs like this?
I love that. He's so critical of him. It's fucking hilarious.
I love too everything being a critical question.
Yeah, yeah.
So he says, what's with the Burt car? Oh, my father thinks he's Burt Reynolds. The sexiest man alive? Yes, I do. And
Burt Reynolds and George Segal were in a great movie together, Stick, with Candice Bergen, one of the lost 80s Burt Reynolds movies. It's really fun. I think this is the second episode in a row I mentioned like a weird late 80s Burt Reynolds movie that I love.
Burt Reynolds movies has come up a lot.
They come up a lot. Well, there's so much in the 80s that are so good. Basically from like Sharky's Machine on in the 80s, like they're pretty much all like lost weird movies that he did, but they're all so fucking good.
Now Pops is telling his daughter, like, hey, me and Adam are going to the Y to do some water aerobics. It's good for circulation. And we find out that that's his cover because Pops often takes him to the House of Waffles to teach him the finer things in life. You cut inside the restaurant. He's like teaching him about grabbing boobs. Telling him about like cupping them, and it's about
how
honkage.
to cup a boob. Honkage?
I thought they were going to be talking about something else, and this was meant to trick you, but they really were talking about boobs. It was like, oh, that's odd.
I just want to bury my face in them.
Yeah, like he was holding like cantaloupes, yuck, in his hands at that point. Like it'd be like the funny joke that you'd be like, okay, it's boobs, but it's funny. But like they're just flat out like talking about a 12-year-old girl's boobs in this scenario. It was very weird.
The fact that when Adam goes, I just want to bury my face in them, Pops goes, we all do, but you got to earn it.
Yeah. You got to earn it. It's true.
And that's when he asks him, like, oh, and how's things going with Waffle Girl on that note? And then we get the narration explaining who Waffle Girl is. And she's just like a waitress who works at this waffle place.
Daughter of the family podiatrist.
Yes.
She's from Foot Money.
Now, in the 80s, was child working laws different? Or is she just old enough?
I would imagine they were different, but I think she is old enough too.
Because I assumed she was 12 like him, or 11.
No, I think he's going for older. That's
Yeah, they say she's older, but also too, like at a restaurant, you're like working. If like a family friend is under the table, you're just sort of bussing. Like usually that stuff's kind of just looked the other way.
So maybe we'll peg her for like 14.
Yeah, I was gonna say 14, 15.
Pops is saying to Adam, "All right, well, last week we told her your name. Let's see if it's stuck." And then he pulls her, says like, "Oh, miss, can you top me off?" It's kind of a reason to get her to like come to the table. And she walks over, and he's like, "What's up, girl? Check, please." She goes, "You got it, Alan." And she walks off. He's like, "Did you hear that? She called me Alan." He's like, "That's not your name. I'll change it. I'm Alan now."
It's sound reasoning. That's
What's
like
up,
young
girl?
in love reasoning. Yeah, what's up, girl?
It's good enough, right? There was some effort there. He then refers to his pops as his Jedi master and gets out of the chair and starts fake lightsaber battling. So if he had any shot with this girl, it is now dead and buried.
Unless she's a big Star Wars nerd too. Not too fair. Even then, that's probably not a good look, right?
I would say acting like that regardless is not cool. even if she likes Star Wars.
Are they lasers, the lightsaber? Is it just light, but it cuts?
It's powered by crystals that are inside.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to pull the name for the crystal, and I can't remember.
No, I don't. I wouldn't even if you told me, I wouldn't know that.
I have seen all the Star Wars movies. I watched them for the first time like 10 years ago. I like waited till I could find somebody who had the non-fucked with ones. Because like they basically like deleted the original version of them once George Lucas went back.
Oh,
and, like,
when they
added
went
the stuff
back
he
into
wanted.
theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, though, you couldn't buy, like, there was no DVDs or releases at all that didn't have that footage in it. So I was like, oh, I'm going to watch these movies. We watched all of them, like, in a row one day. I was like, I want to watch the original ones. So we, like, had to find somebody who had, like, the box set before that.
They
That's
didn't
weird.
change
Why would he do that?
much.
But why change anything? Like, I just understand that. Like, don't mess with the movie. It's a classic,
Money!
people.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people in various forms of art, right? Like whether it be music or movies or otherwise, you create something and you always feel like you could do better. You're never like content with what you did. You're like, oh, if I just change this little thing here or there, and then you have all these new facilities to do things you weren't able to do then, and you want to play with it. And the creator doesn't see it as art the way the consumer does in those cases a lot.
It happens in music all the time, too, where it's like, you know that record you really love and you've loved your whole life? We went back and we remixed it to sound totally different. You're like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
It happens all
I
the
love
time.
this record. Yeah. Like, remastering is one thing, but, like, remixing. The first Dead Kennedys record, they're like, do you want to hear the 2023 remix? I was like, absolutely not, I do. Why would I fucking listen to this shit?
Pops and Adam walking out of the restaurant when they're done and they're having a conversation. This is when the name that will inevitably be on most mail I sent to Joe's house comes up because he goes to his pops, "You're my own personal Obi-Wan Kenobi, but instead of the Force, you're teaching me how to get freaky." Pops goes, "Who's Obo Cannoli?"
I do like that that's my Star Wars name.
And then as they're walking, like, "Is that Barry? Barry, what are you doing?" And you just see Barry sitting in front of the dumpster. I'm eating day-old donuts. My friend Terrence, he's the manager. He leaves them out back for me. Why? It's called eating your feelings, ass bag. Mom's going to walk me to the bus till I'm 40, all right?
Man, that's a bag of treasure right there.
Is it, though? Because, look, I
Yes.
like donuts as much as the next guy, but how many, a bag of donuts? Like, can you eat more than 2 donuts in a sitting?
Well, do you remember when you and Nick worked at the gas station, the donut place next door used to leave donuts in a bag like at the end of the night, and we would steal them?
Yeah, we'd eat them, but everyone would have like 1 to 2. A group of us would share the donuts. One
Sure.
whole trash bag of donuts per person. It seems like an
I'm just
excessive
saying,
amount.
ironically enough, we are no strangers to trash bag dumpster donuts.
Oh no, when we worked at American Apparel, the pizza place next door would do the same thing. They'd put all the pizza out that was like nobody bought for the day in pizza boxes. And then they would just put those in a big bag outside. So we'd like watch like hawks because we're all broke working at a shitty retail store with like no money. And just run over the second the last person ran away and just eat whatever pizza they put out.
That
I have
is
no
the
regrets
score.
about eating trash pizza.
Just flick the cockroach off and go to town.
It was one of those places too where later on it was a chain that like failed. There may be like one left in Boston. I won't say the name of it for fear of litigation, but like turns out they had like really bad practices and did a bunch of shit. And like the news of that was coming out and we were like, it was like in Clerks too, where it's like, you can't taste racism, baby. It was like, we can't taste them being shitheads. We're broken. It's free pizza.
So Pops is telling Barry, "I'm going to figure out a way to get you that license and my car. And then we cut to the three of them all driving down the road in Pops' convertible. And the narration is saying, like, you know, as we cruised in Pops' new ride, we felt like kings. Didn't matter that my mom said Barry couldn't drive. Our grandfather would fix it. He always was cooking up a plan with that brilliant mind of his. And then you have Adam go, all right, Pops, you said you had a plan. What you thinking? And you just see him kind of like spacing off as he's driving. Like, Pops, you all right? And then he just like dead straight just drives straight into a burger place.
Yeah, it's like a classic like California burger place too. It's like mainly outdoor seating and just a little hut, and it takes out like 70% of it.
His acting was too real for this to be funny. It made me uncomfortable.
Because he likes the way he's spaced out.
Yeah, you're like, ah.
And then the narrator goes, okay, his mind wasn't what it used to be, but his appetite still was. And he goes, so who wants nuggets?
Me.
I mean, that's a Lemon's Lemonade scenario, right? You smash into a burger stand, you get a double.
Tell me this. Why would this result in the three of them getting arrested and being handcuffed with their hands over their heads in a cell?
They would 2 minors would be considered part of the endangered part of that
It's
charge.
funny
Yeah.
I didn't even think about this. But yeah, that is strange that they were.
Like, I could see, like, I mean, and if he, like, spaced out because it was a medical, as long as there was no, like, alcohol or anything in his system, he's not going to get arrested. And the fact that they were all handcuffed with their arms up in the cell was like, what kind of torture is this?
Yeah, this feels against the Geneva Convention.
I can also see the two kids really giving the cops a run for their money, though. You know, like they're both kind of.
Sure, but if that's the case, give me some sort of a line of dialogue.
Yeah,
being like,
true. Yeah.
you know, we wouldn't have been in this mess if you didn't blah, 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 blah.
Maybe there's a cut scene where after the accident they rob the burger joint.
They
Maybe
get into a gun.
they steal the nuggets. Yeah.
He's like a hip hop head too at that point. He's like, fight the power that be, right? Like he just yells that and then they all end up in jail. Like that's all you need, right? Just like 10 seconds of something to be like, and they fucked with the cop a little bit.
Fuck the police.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We don't know what year it is. Yeah. I called 911 a long time ago. Like, all right, you're coming with us.
And then while they're in the jail is when Beverly runs in. It's like, are you proud of yourself? You locked up an old man and 2 little boys. And she's telling the person who works there, memorize this face because it's going to haunt your dreams, sir. It's going to haunt your bleep dreams.
This is one of those moments where I think the bleeping out of dialogue in a show can either be really funny or really tedious. And it works with this scenario and obviously this actor to be so funny that you're like, you're just there for it. And you're like, you believe she's going to like leave one of those super like swear-filled tirades across the whole episode.
And she runs over to her kids and dad and is like, you guys okay? And Adam's like, no, I'm not okay. Barry took a dump in front of us. I had to go.
Look, not team poop ever. Genuinely laughed at this. The
was
scenario
funny.
is
You
too
keep
funny.
saying
yeah.
you're not team poop, but week after week you laugh at a different poop thing.
Yeah, Joe, you can kind of not really deny it anymore. You have consistently been laughing at poop humor.
You sent
that
a
is-
fart video last week. And you
Oh, the
discussed
SNL video?
shit.
That SNL sketch
No,
was
but in
surprisingly
fairness, like
funny.
I thought this was funny, and part of it was like you just don't expect it. It like really takes you off guard.
And also, too, like, the idea, Jay, you were recently in a jail cell. Is it still just one toilet in the corner?
Well, it depends on the jail. I'll say the last time I was in a jail cell, which
My
wasn't
favorite
that
segue ever on the show, by the way.
The last time I was in a jail cell was a wide open area. It almost didn't feel like a jail for the most part, except for there were cells, but like it was almost, you almost felt like you were in a waiting room of a doctor's office, only you're in an orange jumpsuit. But there were like individual cells, like if someone was acting out of line, because it's like a holding cell. It's not for like prisoners. Like you're just in jail for
Right, this
the
is where people
night or
get,
for
like,
whatever.
arrested at night or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so there were like private cells, but there was a toilet, but it was kind of in the open. It was like in a sectioned off what would be a private cell, but there's no door to it. So like if you had to go, people could see you in theory, but it was
like
there.
the locker room bathrooms in school.
Kind of like that.
Or, like, barracks, army barracks, I think, are kind of like that as well. But that's not, like, the classic, like, I'm thinking of, like, Death Wish 3 or something when Charles Bronson's in the New York holding cell and it's 50 guys and just a toilet in the corner. We're like, that's gotta be a bummer to have to use.
No, but that exists. But this is
Yeah.
like because of the nature and layout of the last facility I found myself in. I don't know how I come off to people when they listen to this stuff, but yeah, it's different.
Not as an academic.
Yeah.
Mastermind criminal.
So now we cut in front of their house and everyone's like kind of standing there as the wrecked car is being towed over to the house. And he's like, I'm telling you, it wasn't my fault. And then we find out that the next morning, mom took his keys away. So she took her father's keys, and now he is no longer allowed to drive, well, in her eyes. But in fairness, she doesn't actually have the right to do that.
That's a hard thing, right? Like, there's no legality unless you get appointed.
And Pops doesn't, you guys would know better, and I don't like to get ahead, but Pops doesn't live with them, right?
No.
So all the more so, if he was under her roof, then I could see there being a little bit of say there, but you can't just be like, you're not driving anymore because I said so.
I mean, she's a no-nonsense lady, so
that's true.
Legally she can't stop him, but she did it anyway.
I think in those scenarios, like, even if you live there, right, like, unless the state takes your license away, which is like a thing that happens all the time in those scenarios, right? Like, if an older person crashes their car into a burger stand, usually the state will have a hearing and go, you're no longer licensed to drive. But like, yeah, you can't legally just take someone's license away. I mean, I guess if you take their license physically and they get pulled over, they could get in trouble.
My cousin drove straight through 7-Eleven.
Guess it runs in the family.
How old was your cousin?
60.
Okay.
Like,
that's still pretty young for like that to be like.
There was like a known
license
issue with the
pull.
car. I'll give him a little bit of a pass. They're having the argument. He's like, I'm not one of your kids, Bev. It's like, Dad, I'm trying to help you. And then like you get the narrators telling us like, and as always, the neighbors came out to watch. And then Beverly yells across the street at the family watching on, oh, hello, Gina. Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer. And then the narrator comes in again and says, for the record, Gina's my mom's best friend.
I like this because this is like a very nice pilot thing to do, right? Be like, this is how she is even to her friends. Like, you have one tiny little aside to be like, she's not different to anybody. Like, this is this woman's whole thing.
I remember there was like a car accident that happened near my house not long ago. And like everybody goes outside, right, to see what happens. And it's like one of the only times I've spoke to most of my neighbors because we're all just standing there like not minding our own business because none of us have any need to be there. And we're all just chatting.
So y'all just become a bunch of Ginas, huh?
We have a giant bay window in front of our house. Not giant in a way like we live in a castle. You know, like we have a big bay window at our house. So there's no blocking it. It's like anything that goes on in front of our street, like there are people who lived across the street, had the cops coming all the time to their house, whatever. I'd like always come down and be like, what's going on? And, like my wife would just be like up against the window, be like, go a little to the side, like be a little less obvious. You're standing in front of a big open window. There's no shade.
Well, think about it. It's like when there's a car accident on the highway and traffic's all the way down, and it's not because of the accident. It's because everyone's driving by slow to look at
It's
it.
called rubbernecking. It's the fucking bane of my existence on the highway. Just move.
When you see like the line and the waves turn like a solid color, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But I feel like part of that is, a lot of it is that people get curious and want to see what's happening. But there's also that element of, I was speeding up until this point, and now I know there's a cop right here.
Yeah.
So like, it would be foolish to zip right past this crime. Although I don't think they would just like leave the accident to be like, I gotta get this guy because he's going 10 miles an hour over.
I don't know, man. Up here, people drive so fucking scary fast in the fast lane that like it's rubbernecking if you're in the middle lane, the right lane. But that left lane, people are still going fucking 100 right by you.
So now Pops is asking, can I go now? I've got a date with Shirley Nagel. She's got 12 grandkids, so you know she puts out.
Just so endearing.
Now, in fairness, though,
she puts
Then
in.
yeah, that
Yeah.
means her.
her kids do.
means her
She might
kids,
only have
yeah.
2 kids who have.
Yeah, I was gonna say
6
we don't know how many
each,
kids
you know?
she has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she might have
12
one kid
kids.
that had 12. Yeah.
That's such a funny thing too. Though, like he's acting like the teenagers because we're like, there was always a thing where kids like, does she smoke? We're like, yeah, but like if she smokes, she pokes, dude. Like that's not a thing that means anything. Some people just smoke cigarettes. Doesn't mean that they're sexually. You're like, it's such a funny thing to be like, dude. If she's got grandkids.
Well, technically,
I mean, she has fucked.
we just don't know how often or the
How
frequency
often,
at any-
how long
yeah.
ago, and how many times? Yeah.
So he's like, can I have my keys now? Beverly's like, no. And then he yells, you're out of my will. And then she goes, you're out of my will. So now Pops and Murray are kind of having like a little bit of a back and forth. You lose your keys, Barry gets some keys. It's a circle of driving. Then Barry's like, wait, does this mean I can drive? And then the 2 parents give different answers. Murray says yes, while Beverly says no. And she goes, hon, I said Barry was not ready and you agreed. And he goes, well, in my defense, I wasn't listening.
I just love the character so much that like he is honest to a fault. Like it makes you love him even more. That even when he knows he's wrong or he'll get in trouble, he just doesn't give a shit. She's like, oh, yeah, I wasn't fucking listening. Like I love those people you meet because you're like, I can't get mad at people who are that honest.
And we're getting the narration telling us, you know, whenever his parents disagreed, the same thing would happen every time 5 minutes later. And now we're cutting to them inside the house, and you're getting the mom just putting a heavy guilt trip on dad. Who watches Adam sleep in case his asthma kicks in? Me. Who bought the family a new hamster because you sat on Herbie? Me. Through narration, we're getting, but not this time. See, my dad always had a soft spot for Barry, so he decided to help him out. Maury's kind of hitting his wife with like, hey, you live for all those things. Now the kids are growing older. Your whole world is falling apart. She's like, my world is fine, thank you very much. Okay, if you got no problem letting things go, then I'm going to take Barry for a driving lesson. She's like, oh, you two stuck in the car together? That'll go well. Good luck not flipping out. It's like, I don't need luck. I'm going to teach him good. I'm going to parent the bleep out of him. And then we get, Barry, Daddy's going to teach you how to drive. And then Barry runs down the steps. Seriously? And he starts doing a really weird dance on the steps.
Oh, hey, boys. It's been a little while. How are you?
I don't even know what was bad about any of this. Is that how Casper, are you involving yourself in this scene?
I just saw a pretty little boy doing a pretty little dance, and I thought I'd come and say hi to you guys. How you been?
Oh, you're
Casper, he
enticed by
was
the
too
dancing.
old for you. He's 16.
Oh, bye, boys. Casper, geez, that was quick this week. All right, well, 16's a cutoff for Casper. Good to know.
Because of the dancing, Mari goes, unreal. I raised a moron, and you get the caption under it. I, too, am excited.
It's a good ongoing joke that they don't drill into the ground.
It doesn't take a lot. That's, too. So, like, you can kind of just sneak it in, and even if you weren't paying attention, it's not integral to the story or anything.
Yeah.
It also just makes me really miss pop-up video.
Pop-up video.
They're
Love
all on
pop-up video.
Yeah, they're all on YouTube. We definitely had nights, especially like during COVID. That was like a thing we do all the time. Be like, do you want to just get drunk and put a playlist of pop-up videos on and be like, oh, I didn't know that the mold in the Lionel Richie video was actually made by him. Like, just like the dumbest shit no one needs to know.
So we get the narration saying, my dad was determined to do the impossible, not yell. Then you cut to them in the car, and it's just the two of them screaming at each other as Barry's driving about 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, a moped passes them.
When you first learn to drive, like, I don't remember, like, I know there's a hesitation to kick it up a little bit, but I don't remember being like that. Were you guys crawling the first time you actually got on the road?
You know what I always think about when I think back of like learning driving is I was the thing I struggled with the most personally. Am I over the line? Because I always felt like I was too far to the left, if that makes sense. And
I
so
still
I'm just
deal
like
with
staying on like that side of, because sometimes there's not a line, right? Some roads don't have the line, but there's two-way traffic. So you're like, am I in the right spot? I just remember really struggling with that. Speed, never really an issue for me, though.
No, I just remember being surprised with how little gas it took to make the car go fast.
Yeah,
That too,
oh my
yeah.
god, it really jumps on you, yeah.
So at that point, you're used to go-karts, where you have to floor it.
In fairness, you still drive like it's a go-kart.
Yeah, but now it's on purpose.
Yeah. Murray's screaming at his son because of how slow he's going. Eventually starts waving. There's like a moped behind that can't get by. He's like, go ahead, go ahead. And this moped like zips around him. He's like, now we're going to make a right, but before we get to the right, turn your signals on. And like turns the wipers on by accident. He's like, it's just smearing everything around. There's kind of, through all the chaos and arguing going on in the car, there's the point where Adam yells, you got to let me out of this car, man. I can't die before I cop a feel. And Barry turns like, shut up, okay? You want to die? I'll kill you right now. I'll tell you, when he turns, I was convinced he was going to get in an accident. Like, that's where that was going, because he completely turned and was looking into the back seat while they were arguing. And I was kind of surprised.
I'll kill you right now.
I was kind of surprised it didn't go that way. I was like convinced we'd get the accident.
The dad's line here, though, is so fucking funny. Hitting the kid in the backseat is way too advanced.
Yeah, you have to like, that takes years of driving experience. Mario's like, all right, that's enough. Make you, we have to go home. It's like, home? No, this is my one chance to get a license. I'm getting it. He's like, no, you blew it. Stop the car. The car stops like in the middle of this big kind of road cross-section area. And Mario and Adam get out. He's like, what are you doing? And you have like all these cars honking. And Mario walks around to the driver's window. And he's like, all right, flagging the cars, like, go around. My son's a moron. Go around.
That was his last time. He kept saying it too. He said it at least twice. He's like, my son's a moron. Keep going. It's like as if it wasn't like stress inducing enough that you get your dad just like publicly berating you. It's so funny.
I like the idea though of how many people were driving and heard him say that and were like, I get it, man, it's cool. Like, I understand, right? Like, related to him in that moment.
We flash forward, and now we see like heavy traffic because the car's just been sitting here this whole time. And there's like a traffic cop that's like next to them, like flagging cars around. So like in the moment, I know he gets referenced right after, but is he just accepting the situation while he's like flagging cars around?
Yeah, the cop's like, my son too. Lord knows I have.
And now they're telling Barry, like the cop apparently at some point did say he was going to tow the car. It's like, well, I would too. And then during all this chaos, the mom arrived. Marty's like, who called her? And the narration from Adam is like, I'll give you a hint. It was me.
How?
Yeah, I don't know unless they have one of those old car phones.
Oh, he ran to a phone booth for sure.
Did he call 1-800-COLLECT and then when they asked for the name, go, Mom, I need you at the intersection, and then hang up?
That didn't exist then. He called 0.
Or he had a quarter.
That too.
The mom shows up and she's like, Bob had a baby and it's a boy?
We got a baby, it's a boy.
Our younger listeners won't get that. I'm just kidding. All of our listeners are our age.
No, we had somebody reach out recently saying that they were a teenager.
Oh, wow.
Listening
Thank
to
you.
us. Yeah. They started when they were 17. They're 19 now. Because we had said something about probably not having a lot of teenagers listening to us. And he was like, actually,
Oh.
you've been ruining my youth.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Tell your fellow
we
youth
apologize
about us.
Hello, fellow students.
So Maury's like, Barry, open up, get out now. While he's doing this, Mom gets out of her car and she's like, oh, so this is what happens when you're in charge, huh? Citywide traffic jam. Whose world is falling apart now? So through narration, we find out like the expectation is that when Beverly walks up, like she's going to explode on them because of the situation. But instead, she just kind of hits them with the, well, this is your mess. You cleaned it up, and like heads off. The next thing we know, we just see like a flash forward of the car being towed off as Barry's still in it yelling, I regret nothing.
I thought that was really funny. Hey, this kid gives you like doesn't he kind of remind you of Josh Gad a little bit?
No, you know who
yeah.
you know who he kind of reminded me of is Galecki a little bit, like a younger
Yeah, I could see that too, actually.
Yeah.
It's almost like if those two had a child together.
Sure. And then the next scene we have Adam and Pops and they're back at the diner. You know, they're sitting there and the waitress walks up and goes, welcome back, boys. What'll it be? Pop's like, I don't know. What do you think, Alan? He goes, let's pull the trigger. 2 Monte Cristos, all the trimmings. I like that Pops is on board for all right, his name's Alan now. We're just going to stick with that.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy how supportive he is. Like, it's great.
I love, too, that he's like, I like the dynamic of having, like, a kid and his grandpa, right? It's not something you see in a lot of sitcoms. It changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like an Angus.
It is very much like Angus. Although I'm not sure if when George Segal dies, if Adam comes in and plays a Taps record and then gets really sad. That part of that movie is so fucking depressing.
It's so sad.
Joe, you're a resident ham guy. I know you can make a Monte Cristo with ham.
A Monte Cristo does have ham, so I didn't know what a Monte Cristo
Can't you
was.
select the meat? It's not necessarily ham. It could be a turkey.
No, I believe
I
it's
thought
both.
it was
Is
both.
it always
Yeah.
both?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe it's always ham. Because I asked my wife, I was like, she's much more adventurous and has worked in food before, and I was like, what exactly is a Monte Cristo? And it was like, it's ham. I was like, go on. And turkey. It's like, go on. It's like, and cheese. It's like, go on. And big thick bread. I was like, go on. And then it's dipped in egg batter and fried like a fucking
It's French toast.
French toast, and then
yeah.
drizzled with powdered sugar. It was like, how could you ruin a ham sandwich like that? What monster invented this nightmare food?
Listen, I have never had one of these sandwiches. I just don't know if I could stomach it. Like,
It sounds awful.
I bet it tastes good because there's also like, I think there's like jelly on it
It's
too,
for
isn't
dipping,
there?
I think. I think you get like a cup of jelly for dips.
And like, so like here's my thing. Just have French toast, right? Like I'm just like, I don't think these things need to go together.
No,
And
sweet and
as a-
savory works. Think about
Sure, it absolutely does. So that's why I'm not really gonna pass too much judgment because I've never had it. Maybe it's delicious. It's possible it's delicious. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Kind of looks delicious.
right? Let's go get some Monte Cristos, boys.
As I've gotten older, though, I have developed an aversion almost to like super sweet and super salty. Like bugs me now. And this looks like both of those
I
things.
feel the same
So
way.
I just don't know how. I don't know how I'd feel.
Do
about
those
it, but-
cancel one another out a little bit?
I don't think so. I think it would just make you dislike it more.
No, I think you can do too much of both. Yeah.
Well, there's definitely jelly on this, and I wouldn't eat it because of the jelly.
That's the thing that takes you out of it?
Yeah, it's off-putting. I'll eat jelly and like a peanut butter and jelly.
I was going to
but
say,
don't
are
want
you
it
a no jelly guy in general?
I normally eat a peanut butter sandwich over a peanut butter and jelly, but I will eat an Uncrustable.
That is maybe one of the more 6-year-old things you could say. Just a peanut butter sandwich, it has like no, it's so dry.
Yeah, you drink it with milk.
I was just gonna say, do you drink it with a glass of milk? I knew the answer was yes for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with Uncrustables, do they make varieties where you can get different jelly, or do you only get grape?
It's
They
so
have all
funny
of them.
that you say this, right? Because at work, the vending machines will have Uncrustables, so I've bought them in there, but I've never for home consumption bought Uncrustables in my life until a few days ago. And it was only because I was doing an Instacart order and they had an apple cinnamon with peanut butter. And I'm like, okay, I need to try this.
Yeah. See, I would have been okay with that. I hate grape jelly.
I only like grape.
Interesting.
I'll say this though, it was good. A couple regrets because the box is now gone. I should have tried one in a toaster to see how that would have been with like the hot like apple. I think would have been good. It had like an apple cinnamon, probably would have been better. Other note, not enough jelly to peanut butter.
Is it chunks of apple or like an apple flavor?
It was like an apple flavored jelly.
Oh, I'd fuck with that.
But it should have also had more jam to peanut butter ratio. I think it was too peanut butter heavy.
I think if you microwave that, it may have burnt the shit out of your mouth.
In the toaster though, you got to wait a minute afterwards. But I think that would have been like the way to do it.
Well, it's like a pizza roll. You have to bite the corners, let some hot
Let
air
it
out.
steam out. Yeah.
You gotta blow air into one hole and have it
No, you
steam
just
out
throw
the
it in
other.
your mouth and let you.
I was
But
gonna
also,
say, then
Joe,
either
like-
way, though, you still bite it and burn your fucking tongue off. Yeah.
But the more simple answer to your question, too, on top of that is Uncrustables from the rip have always come in grape or strawberry. And now they make more varieties, but strawberry's always been around.
Okay, I didn't know that because I'm a strawberry jelly guy. Yeah.
Yeah, now there's chocolate ones, there's Nutella ones, there's
You know
all
what?
kinds.
So I've had like maybe one Uncrustable in my life. Why are they frozen?
I think it's more to preserve them longer.
Yeah, it's probably
The
just for a
mistake a lot
longer
of people
shelf life.
make is they put them in the fridge and then they dry out. You're supposed to keep them frozen, then take them out, leave them out for a little bit so they defrost and then eat
Thaw them a bit.
You
yeah.
can't have if I want an Uncrustable right now, I can't have one, which is kind of annoying. You'd have to go buy a box of frozen ones, let it fucking thaw or like
Yeah.
toast it or something like that, and then is it the same if you don't let it thaw and then toast it or toast it? You know what I mean? Like, is it
The box
it's too
says
much
too.
work for a peanut butter and jelly?
Depending on how quick you're going to go through the box, it says if you leave it in your fridge, it'll last for like 5 days. So you
And
can't
what do
do
you
that.
get? Probably 4 a pack.
What?
There's different size boxes.
Okay. Because I feel like if you have
But-
4 and you have 5 days, like you're probably committing to being able to eat one of those
Yeah.
a day.
Oh yeah,
right?
no, I'm always eating 2 at a time. Those boxes do not last.
Yeah, they're tiny, right? They're small. I never been able to have one. I don't think they came out before I could have them. Yeah,
And they're like, it's bread and peanut butter. So like you're talking like
it's a lot
close
of
to
calories and
400
carbs,
calories
yeah.
for this one little puck that it's like, okay, so if I'm going to eat 2, maybe 3 at a time, like it's not doing, it's not doing a lot for the old diet.
It's being a kid, you never think about that stuff, right? Like peanut butter is also terrible for you, but even just like pizza rolls, right? Or fucking bagel bites. You're like, I ate 12 bagel bites. You're like, you ate 12 mini bagels with pepperoni and cheese on them. It's like 10 million fucking
And
calories.
so many wasted calories.
Yeah,
That
awful.
reminds me of there was it was like some stupid Instagram reel recently, and it was a guy at a Mexican restaurant realizing that like the chips at the table are just baked tortillas or fried however,
yeah.
And he's like, wait, he's like, so for these, so he's like, so I ate like 17 tortillas. Like,
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy. Yeah.
You don't think about it in the moment as you're just chopping
Yeah.
on the chips.
That's maybe the smartest, most addictive snack ever, where like chips and salsa, where like fried, salty bread that you're gonna eat that's gonna make you want more anyway, because it makes your mouth salty. But then the spicy salsa makes you want. It's just like weird consumption. It's like the Homer
Yeah.
Simpson donut machine. It's like more. Like you end up eating half a bag of chips, and you're like, this is so bad. You will need water for a fucking week.
So to jump back in here, we have Adam who like very confidently put that order in front of the girl, and he's feeling pretty happy about himself. But before she could even turn around, we find out that at the booth right behind them is where his mom is, and she turns towards him and goes, all that fried meat and cheese, you're going to be on the bowl for hours.
The bowl for hours. That's a real way to get your mom to look at sweat.
That's an old school term.
And the waitress is like, I'll be back. And like, just like, you just feel for that kid, you know, like the worst thing you could say in front of your crush, like just talking about him getting the shits after eating the sandwich.
And it looks like their house too. I forget if later you find out there's not, but it feels like a 1-bathroom house too. Because the mom's coming, Emily's in the shower. This feels like I'm brushing my teeth while you're in the shower getting ready for school type of scenario. So to get hours and need to be on the bowl really becomes a stressful scenario when the whole house only has 1 bathroom.
And it's like, it seems like the mom is just, this was like intentional because she's like, no. He's like, Erica rushing off to college. Barry wants to drive. And now you want to date? You still play with robots. He goes, they're GoBots, and one day they'll be worth millions. And then you get the narration, they weren't.
I kid you not, I said it the exact same time as him.
It is funny, though, because like we think of all the stuff we had as kids. Like, Jay, you and I still have a lot of our wrestling figures from back then and still buy them, right? You're like,
buy new
some of the
ones,
stuff is worth so much fucking money, and some stuff is worth nothing at all.
It's such a crapshoot because there's certain things that like, I'll look up because you'll see a video, you'll be reminded of something like, oh, I wonder what those go for now. And then you'll have like a wrestling figure from when we were kids that like some of them are dirt cheap, some of them are super expensive. And then you'll look up some other weird, whether it be like a McDonald's toy or something like that. And you'll be like, oh, these are still like, same thing. Some have zero value. Some are like super expensive out of nowhere.
It's nice though, I will say as a parent now, because there are certain things where like my daughter will get into something and then I'll get like a weird pang of nostalgia where like she got really into Snoopy and the Peanuts. And I was like, ooh. And I remember all these Peanuts Burger King figures I had as a kid. Like I could see them in my brain. I went on Etsy and someone was like, all of them, $4. It was like sold, right? Like, and you're not mad about it at that point. You're like, play with them. Fucking bring them in the tub.
They arrived
whatever.
just stinking of cigarettes.
Luckily they didn't, but I've had that problem.
Buying old shit.
I had, not a few years ago, like my niece was like obsessed with Beauty and the Beast, and there were like no good Beauty and the Beast toys.
We're in that phase right now, by the way.
There was a moment where McDonald's in like the early 2000s did like a whole toy set. So I got all of the toys in the packaging still, and the seller had like at the time Happy Meals were in bags. Like had the bag and everything too, so I was able to get all those, and it was super cool because it was fairly affordable for them still, like all in package still.
I remember when McDonald's was fun.
Yeah.
There's some McDonald's somewhere that keeps popping up on my Instagram where it's like, this McDonald's hasn't been touched since like 1994. It's like in the Midwest somewhere, and like they like show the inside of it, and you're like, again, nostalgia. You're like, oh my god, and they drive up through the drive-through, and all of the board stuff is still there, like where you'd order, and the toys for the Happy Meal or Bobby's World. And like every time I see the video, and for some reason it gets shown to me all the time, I'm just like, oh, don't you know, Bobby? I want those toys so badly. And I'm like, there were toys in that fucking McDonald's. Let's go. Let's break in and get those Bobby World's toys. It's fucking insane.
I've seen that. It's an abandoned McDonald's.
Yeah. So there's like a box of little Bobbies.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's still open, operating.
No. It's just like an abandoned one that like hasn't been touched for 30 years. So like that was the last thing that was on like the Happy Meal menu. So it's still there.
It's been a minute since I've looked at the numbers, but I remember curiosity looking maybe a couple of years back to see how much the Batman Forever cups or whatever would be, the glass mugs. Because I have my set. I'm like, oh, I wonder if these are worth anything. I still have my set too. Yeah. They're very acquirable still for like a decent
they made
cost.
So many of them.
Yeah, I still have the Two-Face one where the handle's the flipping coin, which I was like,
I have all
interesting
four still.
Design.
Yeah.
Do you remember they made the Flintstones glasses from the movie that came out?
Here's the thing. Younger? I didn't know they made those glasses until recently. It's the same as the Batman ones, but yeah, I had the shirt. There was a white t-shirt that had like the McDonald's and everything too. Like it was, I don't know, like I wore the shit out of it, but I remember having that as a kid.
Now the toys are weird things I don't know anymore. So like we were on vacation and we like got my daughter a Happy Meal, like my wife got food or whatever. And we came back and is it BTS maybe, like a K-pop band?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm like looking at the bag and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get Jungkook. Like I just picked one random person and she pulled a toy out and that's who it was. And then for like a month, wherever we should go, she'd be like, where's Jungkook? Like, I'm sorry, like I said this to you, like, had to bring the toy before she forgot about it. But for now, forever, I'll know who that one weird teenage Korean boy is.
So Beverly and Adam are arguing. She's saying, you're not ready for girls. You don't even have pit hair. He goes, I have 3. And you get the narration. I didn't.
What a better time. I would love to not have pit hair.
And she's yelling at her dad, like, how could you have encouraged this? He's like, because he's in the 6th grade. Loosen up your damn grip, Bev. And he's like, yeah, I'm a man now. A man with needs. And I need Zoe and her sweet, delicate boobs. And you can't stop me. And then you just, like, it pans over and you just see that girl was just standing there and heard all of it. She just walks away.
Sweet, delicate boobs is a very funny sentence to say.
And then he gets embarrassed and looks at his mom and just yells, you're out of my will, whatever that means.
Storms out.
I do love a recurring gag that doesn't fall flat as it goes on. I feel like they did a good job on this one.
And when he's gone, Beverly is yelling at her dad, like, this is your fault. If I knew that this is why you drove him here, I never would have allowed it. And he goes, do you know why I won't give up my license, Bev? Because you want to get with Shirley Nagel. You already mentioned that. No, are you kidding me? I got that locked down. But if you take my car away from me, you take away my time with my grandson, and getting waffles with that little guy is the best part of my week. And she goes, oh, Dad, I didn't know that. And I just felt like that she, like, I don't know. It wasn't a serious enough monologue for her to go, oh, and feel so touched.
Like, amidst all the
He doesn't
insanity.
need his car to see him. He could still spend time with his grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know how far away they live. I guess it's one weird thing about, like, we know they're in, like, a random Pennsylvania town, but we don't know, like, would it be hard for him to walk to their house and back?
Nobody's in their lives. I just felt like she, like, the way she acted, played it off like it was this huge emotional breakthrough. It was like a nonchalant sentence that he brought up, and I felt like it didn't quite sink. The buildup wasn't enough for her reaction.
Yeah, maybe a little more oomph from his part.
And you're getting the narrator saying, if Mom realized she had to let go, Dad decided it was time to get more involved. And then you cut to Murray and Barry sitting together, like, outside of the tow yard.
Yeah, like at the impound lot.
And Barry's like, I guess you were right. Looks like I'll never drive. He goes, any dummy can learn how to drive, even a dummy like you.
I learned at 38.
Goes,
any dummy can learn.
But then I thought this was like a little bit of a forced reaction. He goes, come on, Dad, you got me an REO Speedwagon tape. You don't know anything about me.
That doesn't apply to that conversation.
No, this was just we paid for the rights for Can't Fight This Feeling anymore.
We have
and
to
we're gonna
get our
fucking
money's
use
worth.
it. Yeah.
He's like, trust me, I do. I know you go through life feeling all angry and let down and misunderstood. I get it. He's like, wow, yeah, hey, do you ever cry into your pillow? And then Mark goes, no, I don't cry into my pillow. Who cries in their pillow? He's like, not me, I don't.
That's tough. They don't really drive in enough that he is the middle child. They say it at the beginning, but then it's kind of just forgotten. I feel like that should have come up in this conversation, why things are so difficult for him.
Yeah.
And now his dad's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to your mom and tell her that she's going to let you get your driver's license. And then Barry's saying, thank you. And can you convince her to get a hobby? Knitting, breakdancing, anything besides us? He's like, yeah, I'm working on it.
She's got her aerobics hobby.
Turns out our dad did have a good heart after all. He just had to open it up once in a while. You see him saying, you know what? I don't say this a lot, but you're not a total moron all the time. And then in the caption under it, in parentheses, it says, I love you.
I think it was sweet to work up this to end on the I love you. Like, I thought the writing was really smart to do that.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have worked for Murray if you had like an I love you to the daughter or anything in the beginning. It like wouldn't have the same oomph at the end.
And now we have the two driving home. Murray's driving, not Barry. He pulls out the REO Speedwagon tape and then puts it in. And Murray's like singing along a little bit to it. And Barry eventually joins in. And the song like continues as they're singing. We start getting like cuts to different people and like what's going on. We see Beverly sitting on the swing set in the yard, just smelling a baby blanket when Murray walks over to her. What are you doing? Nothing. Those are the kids' baby blankets. Yeah, you got me. Sometimes I smell them whenever I feel sad. That's not weird, is it? Well, it's a little weird. And she's talking about how her world's caving in, bringing up how she gave the kids everything and now they don't need her anymore. And what do I have left? He goes, me, I'm not going anywhere. And then he gives the baby blankets a little bit of a sniff too. And then off in the distance, you see Adams like watching and recording and, probably a good moment for him because, essentially seeing his parents bond and then if he hears anybody knows it's because they love their kids so much.
I know she comes off a little crazy sniffing blankets and stuff, but it really is hard. It's like, I'm really close with my son, but as he gets older, he needs me a little less and less, and it's like, ooh, that
I
hurts.
bet, yeah.
Oh yeah, like I can't prepare myself for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like he'll be driving soon, and then next thing you know, 18 hits, and it all like just life goes by so quick, right? And the older we get, the more cognizant of it we become.
Also, one thing that REO Speedwagon reminded me of, like a funny 90s thing, there was a punk band called REO Speed Dealer, which is like a very funny punk band name, right? Like, get it? We're doing a funny joke on it. That REO Speedwagon sued them, and they had to change their name. But REO Speedwagon was the name of a car. It's like, they stole their name. Like, the REO
Yeah.
Speedwagon was a vehicle. They stole the name of that and took a copyright to it, and then a band made a joke about their name, and they were like, change your name or we'll sue you. It's like, fuck you, REO Speedwagon.
Well, I'll say this: I'm currently wearing a Misfits t-shirt, and I feel like they fall into the same thing.
Oh yeah, Misfits are a car.
That, and they stole the
the
image
Crimson Ghost.
from a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, the Crimson Ghost, yeah.
It's stolen, yeah.
And their name is after a movie, though.
It's more theirs than the movies now. At this point.
It's
At
funny
this
that's
point,
true,
sure.
and that movie is starring, like, one of the few movies starring Marilyn Monroe, and you're just like, no, it's a punk band's thing now. It's like, it's so fucking funny to be like, you don't get this one, Marilyn, sorry.
Now we see Pops alone in the kitchen, and he pulls out his license, and he like gives it a look, and eventually cuts it in half.
Seemed a little unnecessary.
Yeah. Also, way harder to do now.
Oh,
Did
cutting
it-
a license?
Yeah, were they
Like,
paper
a license
back
or a
then?
credit card. They were paper, just in like very thin laminate. So like actually like a piece of paper through a laminator, right? It's like a scissors would cut right through it. Now it's way harder, but like I had a credit card change recently, and like you try to cut through a credit card, they're all metal now. We're like, I can't fucking do this. Like, I don't know what to do.
Pops walks over to Erica, who's like sleeping on the couch, and he puts the keys in her jacket, so he's giving his actual car away.
His sweet bandit car. Oh wait, no, he gives her the. Wait, did she get the bandit car?
I assumed it was the bandit car.
Yeah, it should be the bandit
That's
car.
what I thought.
Yeah, because then Barry gets the original car that he was gonna get given.
Yeah, that was already
Station
given to
wagon.
Barry. No
Yeah.
takesies backsies.
Imagine going to school. It's like Billy Madison going. It's basically the exact same car as Billy Madison goes to school, listening to Billy Squire. But it's like, imagine popping into school in a fucking brand new like Thunderbird. You'd be the fucking coolest kid ever in like whatever 80 year.
That one's got a smashed front.
That one does smell like burgers, but still pretty cool.
Next transition, we have Erica dropping off Pops and Adam somewhere. You hear Pops telling them, forget about the dinner. They just opened this place. I think you may like it. And that's when we see that they opened up like a brand new Hooters near. Is this when like Hooters like is starting out as a company?
That was what I was gonna ask. Is this time accurate, or was this for the sake of a joke? Like, was Hooters?
It was
around
definitely
in
around
80s?
the 80s. I just don't know. This episode, I think, is supposed to be around
I would
82.
say, like,
1983.
yeah,
Clearwater,
look it up,
Florida
but like
was
they're
the
such
first one.
sticklers for detail of things being in the 80s that I imagine they wouldn't overstep that issue. You know, I've never been to a Hooters. I did drive by one the other day though. When I was in Boston a couple weeks ago, I drove by and it was like I was like,
You've
I bet
never
you there's
been to one?
I'll say
No.
this: they have great wings, and it's not like, oh, I read Playboy for the articles. No, they legitimately have good wings.
But when we were younger, when there used to be one near the garden,
Yep.
and like a big group of us went on multiple occasions where we would all go. I'm surprised you were never at any of those outings we had.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I only remember going once with all of us. It was a half day. Love them Daytona wings.
I still really want though the Hooters remembers 9/11 pin.
I remember that Hooters still having the overpass at the end of the road. That was
when it was still
before the big
dig
dig.
finished. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The whole North Station area was like that one big green train platform.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when that one closed because you would just think like it's right near the garden. You think like, especially at that time, like, I mean, this thing closed early 2000s.
That area is cursed. That the place that Hooters was in has been like 6 different things. It just doesn't work no matter what it is.
Being near the garden means they can jack up the rent for everything.
Yeah,
Well, also being near the garden means you miss half the year because the foot traffic goes away when the Celtics and Bruins aren't playing.
Yeah, but you can go when there's Disney on Ice.
Yeah.
Go see Elsa skate around and then go look at some titties.
what a weird thing. Like, I'm taking my kids to see Disney on Ice, and then we're going to Hooters for dinner. It's like, that Abby Cadabby really got me on that Sesame Street. I gotta go see some more boobies. We're going to Hooters.
We cut to inside, and then as it was still in this like montage thing, and we cut inside the Goldbergs' house, and Beverly hands Barry a box, and he opens it up, and this time it actually is the key to the car. On a rabbit's foot, which are made of real rabbit's feet, might I add.
The fuck they are.
We're not relitigating this. We've gone through this.
Maybe then, because it's the 80s.
And then we get, after he gets the keys handed to him, we get the narration saying, and with that, the circle of driving was finally complete. And then we just, like, see all of them in the car together, and, like, it's the end of this montage. It's like all these clips have been kind of, while the song's been playing, and everyone gets in the car, Barry's in the driver's seat, and you just see him, like, smile and, like, look behind him, and because he's going to back out of the spot. And he turns the car on, and then turns back, boom, flies forward, straight through the
It
garage.
ended with the dad going,
And then one
moron!
final, my son's a moron. Yeah.
I was also surprised that that's not how it went.
He did say, I raised a moron.
I raised a
and
moron.
The in quotation under it, because it's translating, only this time he really meant it. It just says, I raised a moron on both. So,
Replacing garage
Oh,
doors,
yeah, I
not cheap.
forgot. He does say it.
and then what I will say I like too is after this concluded, for the credits, we're getting a lot of bonus footage where it's just, we're seeing the real Adam's actual home movies, like to introduce
Very
his
smart.
character. And you see like how close all these characters are.
Is this just a pilot thing, Joe, or do they do that the rest of the show?
Rest of the show. He has so much video footage that, like, it's not as intense as this one. He puts a lot of stuff into the pilot, but usually the other episodes will end with just, like, one clip. It'll be, like, the dad in the chair being like, moron! Like, it's something that he has that, like, relates to the episode, but they do more in this one to, like, sort of give, I think, the
Okay.
whole overarching. But it's crazy to think how much, like, I didn't look up how much he has, but it must be hours and hours of footage from years and years of their family that he preserved.
Oh, I bet there's a ton, yeah. If you think of how many different tapes they burned through just for this one episode, you got to assume there's a good amount of it.
This show, too,
Yeah.
came out, like, right in the perfect time of, like, buying full seasons of a TV show on DVD. I'm sure if you were to buy, like, the Goldberg Season 1 box set or whatever, there's probably a lot of bonus features of just the home videos, which is also kind of weirdly voyeuristic, too. Like, I'd feel very awkward in that scenario if I was, like, the dad or whatever. Be like, you really gonna show all of our weird videos where I'm in my underwear yelling at you? Like, I don't know if I want that.
I also appreciate the continuity that a lot of the show, Adam is recording with his camcorder in, like, a lot of the scenes.
And right at the beginning, too, they're like, I was the first kid on my block to get a camcorder. Like, they give you that little nugget right away. He's always going to be filming.
So, yeah, with all that in mind, I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add about the show. We've been talking for a minute now. So if you guys want to get into the green letter cancel.
One thing I would just add real quick, if nobody's seen it, I think a really good companion piece to this is, I forget the name of it, but there's a documentary about these kids who were basically just like Adam, who were obsessed with Indiana Jones, and they were filming a shot-for-shot remake of the first Indiana Jones movie as kids. And, like, it's pretty impressive, some of the stuff they pulled off when they were little kids. It's like 1985 or something. And then somebody found all this footage they pulled together, and they were like, we could never film the scene with the big plane with the fight because, like, we didn't have the money. And they were like, okay, well, like, let's get the money now and film that scene and, like, put the whole movie together. And there's a whole documentary about, like, this whole story arc that's...
Did they have the Nazi face melting scene?
They do, yeah, and it's very fun because it's like a kid version of doing it, right? So, like, I forget the name of the movie, but, like, it's super worth watching, and it's that kind of thing, right? It's this 80s footage of kids taping stuff and being like, because that's what Adam does a lot of times in this show, right? He's, like, remaking movies and, like he's doing Tron and other stuff later. So it's definitely a companion piece if you like this.
Back when Tron was good.
Yeah, no, Tron didn't need any updating. We didn't need Jeff Bridges doing Tron in 2024 or whatever.
I remember seeing that in theaters, and there was a disclaimer right in the beginning of the movie being like, oh, by the way, most of this was not filmed in 3D because they gave you the 3D glasses, and they're warning you basically like, oh, just a couple scenes it's going to matter.
I was just saying, like, the Friday the 13th movie with this in 3D, when you watch it not in 3D, we're just like...
Part 3.
Like,
Yo-yo
it's
at
such
the
a
screen.
terrible movie, yeah.
So might as well get into the green letter cancel. I think we've talked about all of this at pretty good length. So I'll go Ferg, starting with you.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy green light from me. First thing I said right before we started, because I can't wait, is it killed me not to watch more of this show after watching the pilot. So I intend to do that. But I thought they did a really good job introducing you to each member of the family, minus the daughter. I didn't think she got much screen time, so you didn't get to learn her personality. But every other person, you got to know each character very well. It's well casted. Each actor is really good. And I love anything set in the 80s. It's fun to jump back to another time. It's just hit on all levels for me. So green light.
Nick.
Yeah, easy green light for me too. This one really checks all the boxes. Like Ferg said, they did a really good job of these character intros. Like you get a really good idea of who they were. All the events are really relatable. You know what I mean? Like everything that happens is just like is stuff you've experienced as a human being, you know, of that age. And I love they did a really good job of, you know, capturing the 80s too, which is like there are timepieces, like we've done a bunch of them, that just kind of don't feel like that's where they are. This one does a really good job of, you know, just feeling like you're in the 80s. I really like the dynamic of the family. They're abrupt in their course, but they're also really like, you know, they're heartfelt and loving too. So like it's just it's a good recipe for a good sitcom, and they just did it really well. So yeah, easy green light.
Joe.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think that I kept thinking of that 80s show, and like to me the Goldbergs is a show that takes place in the 80s, and that 80s show was a show about the 80s. And that difference is what makes one work and one not work. That 80s show was like fun to watch, but like you're just like, this is going to run thin. This is just a really great sitcom that takes place in the 80s, and they have such a good writing that they can weave things in and out. And I think the genius, too, of just being like, it takes place in the whole decade, not just year after year. So you're not limited to little things that would be continuity issues. I've watched this series a couple times through. I left it on last night when I watched it again. I think it's super funny. I think this is a hugely great show. I hope if anybody listens to this who's never seen that show, I'd be stoked if they started watching it, because I think it deserves the audience. It's a easy green light.
So for me, I'm actually going the other way, and I'm canceling. I get the show's fine. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it, but I just wasn't like captivated, and I felt like the pace was kind of slow. And I found myself kind of clock watching quite a bit. And I just got to a point where I just got a little bored with it. And like the nostalgia stuff was fun, but I don't know, there wasn't too much about like the actual family dynamic that stood apart in a way that made me really compelled. I feel like a lot of it was just kind of masked within all the nostalgia. So it wasn't bad. I got a few moments out of it, but I just didn't have much desire to like keep watching. So for that reason, I have to give it the cancel. But with that being said, that's still 3 out of 4. So regardless of Gordo's score, congratulations to the Goldbergs. You live on to see a new day with us. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. S1E1pod.com is where you can find the links to our social media, as long as where you can listen to us, all that stuff. So rate, review, subscribe. Anything does us a tremendous amount of favor. So we would really like if you guys could. But with that being said, that's it for this week. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. So until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the worst ham sandwich.